What if I told you the moments that really made me feel unworthy, imperfect, were some of the moments that really drew me closer to God? The questions, the unanswered prayers, the disappointments, the tears is what really made me come closer to God. What if all those unanswered prayers, every time the doubts, the self-doubt, were really what was intended so that the Lord can really come close to me? What if we have always been judging ourselves wrongly whenever we ask ourselves certain questions, whenever we feel that we are doubtful, whenever we feel downcast, we feel unworthy, and therefore we push ourselves further and further away from the Lord? Well, today I'm actually speaking about my journey to salvation and how I got saved. So if you ever felt unworthy, if you ever felt far away from the Lord, if you ever wondered that maybe you're too sinful, can really God use me? Then this episode is for you. Hi, my name is Katule Mbogwa. I'm a child of God, and I am so happy that you're able to join me today. This is a space where we embrace the real journey of walking with God faithfully every day, learning, growing, and embracing the walk of faithfulness over perfection. This is not perfect, just faithful. Well, did you know that you can actually know about God, but really don't have a relationship with Him? So I come from a background of Christianity. My parents, they are born again, they are Christians. So as a young child, I saw ourselves going to church every Sunday. We would even host a fellowship in our houses. In fact, as a family, it's a must. We had to pray and read the Bible every evening. And there was a specific day that we were doing Bible study with my parents. So you see, I knew who God was, but I did not have a relationship with Him. I believed that God created the universe because, again, we learn in school, we even learn from the Bible. But I believed that's just who He is to me. Just God who has created the heaven and the earth. I did not know much deeper about Him. I did not have a relationship with Him. I had questions and beliefs about Him. Like I knew when the end time comes, we will get burnt. I knew those who do good, those who follow His word will go to heaven. That's just basically what I knew. So it came to a point in my life where I just felt that whatever I'm looking for in the things that I thought I really needed in my life, I couldn't find. Relationships, friendships, things that I wanted to do, hobbies, talents, giftings, education, the people I was with, I thought maybe I would find satisfaction in them. But deeply, I felt some sense of longing. I still felt that something was amiss. I was not complete. And that season of my life came and I realized that I needed to know deeply about God. And that was my turning point. I wouldn't say it was easy. It came with questions. Of course, I felt that all the sins I had done, maybe there are some that are too big to be forgiven. I also doubted myself that if truly this is the journey I really wanted to walk, and if I was walking it, how far would I go? I didn't know about it, considering it was also the first time I was choosing it. I didn't know what struggles I was going to face. I didn't know if I would find the satisfaction I was really looking for, or this was also just part of experimenting. I felt the need to change who I was. I felt the need to find that fulfillment I was longing for. And that is how I found myself wanting to know deeply about this God. I came to realize that I needed to know about the seriousness and the consequences of sin. I also wanted to know more about him. I had the need for him. So I needed to know who God is for myself. What can he do for me? Can he rescue me? Can he forgive me? How loving is he? And that is when I actually decided to give my life to Christ. And there's a verse in Romans chapter 5, verse 8. It says, "But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." And this verse really made me think about, truly, if someone can really die because of my sins so that I can be redeemed, so that I can be forgiven, then this God is really loving. This God, who I'm looking at him as someone who is so fierce, then why can't I just know more about him and see how he can be to me? What can he do for me? How can he give me satisfaction? How deeply can I know him? Because I really yearned for him. And that's when it comes to having to surrender my life to him, having to surrender my thoughts, having to surrender all my worries to him. And I came to realize that the moment I fully surrendered, because of course I have my dreams, I had my ways that I thought that's the way I wanted to go. And here I am, I'm a new creation, and I have to do his will, whether it gives me satisfaction or not. So therefore, surrender also made me realize that I had to give up my dreams. I had to give up my ways of thinking, because if it is not aligned to my will, to his will for my life, then how can I say that I've truly surrendered? So surrender, sometimes it's having to sit down in stillness and really think, whatever I'm doing, is it really what the Lord has in store for me? And surrender to me looks like not giving up on my dreams per se, but truly thinking of, who do I want to be as a person? And the person that I want to be, is it what the Lord has in store for me? Is my purpose and his purpose aligning? The fears that I have, I remember I used to really, really love going to the clubs. And I was asking myself, am I living a very enjoyable, fun life to come to a place where it's boring? Because again, from the outside, Christianity has been portrayed like a very serious and a very boring thing actually to do. So you just go to church, and the songs, some people might say they are boring, maybe even the dances. There are things that we look at them and we realize and we think they are boring, because we are looking at them from an outside view. We have not really given ourselves insight to go and really experience and have that moment. So my worry was, how boring is this life going to be? How long will I really be able to stick to this salvation? Some temptations, if they come to me, will I be able to really overcome? Weaknesses, we are still learning to maybe stop telling lies. You're learning to not maybe watch pornography. How will I be able to overcome that? And even if I stumble and I fall into those temptations, am I now not a Christian again? I had questions, so many questions, like, how do I know how to pray? How will I know how to pray better? How do I talk to God? Do I need to come to him in a certain way? Do I need to come to him maybe with certain words? Do I need to please him so that he can be able maybe to listen to me and answer me? And a lot had to change, both internally and externally. I had to change my friends. I had to change the areas I go, because again, those are things that were going to lead me into temptation. And because I am trying to walk faithfully with him, I had to change my environment. I had to change my relationships. Some did not even just end like, sawa, bye, I'm born again, you're not. I kind of feel like they just happen as the days go. You find yourself drifting because, again, your values are different. The things you used to do, you no longer do together. So you just find yourself drifting. And as a human being, it can be painful because these are friends. You knew them. Maybe you thought you would go for years together. You enjoyed, of course, each other's companies. You told each other secrets. You opened up to them. You were vulnerable with them. It also comes where there's this notion where people say that those people who are born again, they are no longer looking cool, or they no longer seem cool. So you also have those thoughts in your head where you're thinking, now what will my friends say? How will they think of me? I was this cool person, now I'm no longer cool. So surrender, really, it's a day-to-day journey where you have to really just walk every single day with God and just looking up to him and hoping that this journey that you have taken, truly, it's what was destined for you, and it will give you satisfaction, and you will continue to learn and to grow as you go about the journey. So the reality about salvation, we think that the moment we get born again, all our problems stop. But that is not the truth. We still struggle. We still get problems just like anyone else. I sometimes actually feel and ask myself, maybe when you get born again, it's like, Yani, it's when now all the battles are coming to face you. Because I feel like it's when you're so vulnerable, you're open, and the devil is like trying to make you, it's like he's calling you back. Come back to my side, come back to my side. You struggle. You sometimes financially, you get hit. You lose your job. You have lost your friendship, of course. So you can become depressed, lonely, and so many other things. So all the battles do not stop once you get born again. That's just a lie. You still face struggles in your relationship because, for example, you've lost your friends and you're now alone. So there's this moment of loneliness where you wonder, who am I supposed to go and talk to? Whenever you feel lonely, whenever you feel like you need to have a relationship with someone, you wonder if even that relationship is the right one, because you're still learning yourself, and you had friends and now you've lost them, you're just alone. So you still struggle with the relationship and getting to know, to choose the right relationship for yourself. You also struggle with questions. Like, you become so tough on yourself. You ask yourself, maybe what is happening to me is because of my past life. Maybe what is hitting me right now is because of the sins that I did. But that is not the truth. That is just the lie from the devil. These are just parts of the journey we walk. But that does not mean because you're saved, you will not have those questions. We should always have those questions. And the good thing is our Lord always hears and he listens to us. And he tells us that we approach his throne with boldness. We can always ask the Lord of anything. Anything. It does not matter. I feel like most of the times we assume that God is this big person and we are small. So therefore we have to go to him in a certain way. You need to be vulnerable. You don't need to have words. You don't need to go with English. You can go with whatever language, because he's all-knowing. He understands everything. So whatever language you go to him, just speak to him and tell him, God, this is what I'm feeling today. I'm feeling like I'm about to fall into this pit of temptation. Please come and rescue me, because if you don't, I'm going to fall. Oh Lord, I'm feeling so lonely. I miss my friends. Oh, I miss going to the club. Oh, I miss doing this. Please help me today. Strengthen me, because I want to walk with you. Just like this podcast says, it is not about perfection. It is about faithfulness. And faithfulness, we choose him every day. It is a daily choice just to walk with him every day. So another thing that salvation is not talked about is temptation will follow you. Temptation will follow you. And because it is about faithfulness, you don't need to be so hard on yourself. You need to remind yourself that it is a daily walk. And you need to remind yourself that our God is a faithful God. And therefore, you just need to ask him, God, please help me. Help me, because this temptation, it is too heavy for me. It is too tempting for me. So help me. We assume because we have been born again, it is like skyrocket thing. You can't. It's a step-by-step journey. Even in the Bible, they say we have baby Christians and then we have mature Christians. So it is a daily walk. The temptation come, don't be so hard on yourself, but be very cautious and try to avoid what brings the temptation. Salvation and following Jesus must cost you something. It is not an easy walk. It is tough, and some days you just feel like, I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. It's not even I cannot. Sometimes you just don't want to. You just want to. Forgiving people who have wronged you, loving people who hate you, being kind to people who are unkind. It is not easy. We are human beings. We are in this earth. We have not yet gone to heaven. So it is something that it can come from a very tough point where you have to really give all yourself up to be able to love someone who does not love you back, someone who is always mistreating you, someone who is unkind to you. But it must cost you something. It says we must love our enemies, and there's nothing as hard as that. And so many other things that we must do every day, because we are a reflection of Jesus Christ, and he walked in perfection. So we must try and be as perfect as he is. So it must cost you something. And salvation is, we say salvation is, God the Lord is interested in our character more than comfort. So if it gives you comfort, then there's something that is in you that is not dying. If you feel that you're saved and you are okay, then there's still something that needs to be done, because God is interested in our character more than our comfort. If we must kill something in us so that we can become more like Christ, then that is what the comfort we are giving. That is the comfort we are killing, because we must work on ourselves every day. We must try and reflect who God is to us. So I know you might be asking, so what does salvation mean to me today? Well, salvation means that I am very vulnerable with my Father. I go to him whenever I feel that I don't have the strength to do it. I go to him whenever I feel weak. I go to him whenever I feel like this thing I cannot bear, because he's the only person who can understand me. He knows my weaknesses. He knows my strength even before I tell him. So me not telling him does not even make sense, and it is not going to help me, because even before I approach him, he already knows what I'm coming to him for. So salvation to me today looks like being vulnerable with God, approaching him and telling him what is in my heart, the places where I am unsure, where I need help. I am still learning some of the things. I'm still forgiving people that have hurt me. I'm still learning to know that I am not perfect. So when things that I hope that there are things that I thought maybe I should have outgrown by now, but then I find myself doing them, then I realize, oh my God, I'm still growing and I'm still walking this journey of salvation. I'm not perfect, but that does not mean that I'm not born again. I have to choose faithfulness every day. I'm still learning that I have to surrender control to God. Sometimes, especially when you're very ambitious, when you had plans, you have them all written down and they don't go your way. You feel like maybe you're failing, but that's not true. We have to surrender control to God. We have to give him all our thoughts, that this is what I want. You have said it to him, this is what I want. But then again, may your will be done. Your will, but not mine. Or even better, as you're making those plans, you can pray to the Lord and tell him, you know what, these are my plans. And I'm really praying that, God, you give me ideas or plans that really align with your purpose. Because again, it's a win-win. We get to live in his purpose, and we also get to enjoy what we really want to do. I'm still learning that, it's not it's not easy. It takes time to mature in salvation. You have to read your Bible every day. You have to pray every day. And as you read, as you grow, you get to learn things about God that you didn't know. And that's what maturity in salvation looks like. You have to learn that when you pray, you have to have faith and patience. Sometimes we pray over and over about the same thing, and it looks like maybe God is not listening to me, or maybe these prayers are not going to get answered. But we must cultivate faith, and we must cultivate patience, because He hears us and He always answers our prayers. But then again, it is not in our timing, it is in His perfect timing. So let's learn to be patient, and let's learn to be faithful. So what does faithfulness mean to me? Because what you're talking about is always being faithful. You might not be perfect, but being faithful matters. It is being consistent even in the small things. They say someone who is entrusted with the small things and they are faithful, they will be entrusted even in the big things. And small things look like just listening and hearing the voice of God and actually obeying. It can be as something as little as paying someone's fare. We have lost humanity and we are so stuck up. We are just thinking about ourselves that we do not care about the other person who's next to us. And sometimes that is all that is needed for us to prove that we are faithful. What does faithfulness mean to me? Faithfulness means hearing the voice of God, learning to listen to Him, learning to obey Him. No matter how difficult it is, sometimes it is difficult doing some things and you're wondering, should I do this? It is important to me. Why do I need to do this now? For example, if you are told to give your last 100 shillings to someone who was on the streets, maybe you don't know, maybe they have not even eaten for the last 1 week, but because they have not told you your story, you just hear a voice telling you, give them that 100, and you're thinking, this is all I had. It can be difficult to be faithful during that time. And it is understandable, honestly. But faithfulness means doing things that are uncomfortable because we know of the greater good. Faithfulness means showing up every day to have a relationship with God, trying to cultivate that relationship. It does not matter what you did. It does not matter how you feel. It does not matter how low you are. But going to your Father every day and giving Him all your troubles, telling Him, today I would not have been here because this is how I'm feeling. But because I am faithful, I am your servant, Lord, give me the strength. Lift me up because I am feeling this and this way. Because He says He's going to give us the strength. Let those who are weak say, I am strong. That is the only place you're going to get the strength that you need. It looks like whenever we feel a certain way, we seclude ourselves. But actually, it should be the opposite, where we approach Him, where we go to Him, and it's like we are pestering Him. It's like we're telling Him, I should not be feeling this way, so Lord, help me. I should not have lost my job, so rescue me. I should not have fallen into that temptation. Please help me. I don't want to keep falling back and back again into the same thing. Faithfulness looks like praying when you don't feel like praying. Most of the times when we go through hardships, even going to church becomes such a heavy burden. Praying, you don't even want to talk to God. It's like you're mad at Him. And that's what we have said, being vulnerable with God. Because we don't need to be a certain way. We don't need to be so perfect before Him. He knows we are not perfect. So why even act perfect in the first place? So it's going back to Him and praying and telling Him, I do not feel like praying, but I am here so that you can give me strength. I do not feel like going to church. Please help me. Because when you are in His presence, you get more encouraged and you even get aware of the things that you should have done. And also it helps you prevent doing the wrong things at certain times. Consistency. Faithfulness looks like consistency. Every time, every day. Showing up every day. So if you're today wondering that, can I really walk this journey of salvation? I've done so much. I've done things that I cannot even think about, things that you yourself, you're wondering if you can ever forgive yourself for. Then this message is for you. Can the Lord use you? Can the Lord forgive you? Can the Lord trust you? Can the Lord love you? The answer is actually yes. It even says in the Bible, in Lamentation 3:22-23, because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. His mercies are new every morning. His compassion overwhelms us. There's no amount of wrongs you can ever do for you to say that the Lord cannot love you. Actually, the Bible says that love does not keep a record of wrongs. So his love is so much for us that he does not remember. It's like every time we approach him, we are afresh, we are new people. So he does not see what you did even yesterday. He just sees you as someone who has accepted him. So if you're encouraged today, I'm welcoming you to subscribe, like, and share this message to someone who needs encouragement. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.